Well, Isabel, it's better than expected. There's no doubt about that. Retail sales across the 19 countries sharing the euro were up 0.6% month on month, when most economists had only predicted a very small rise of about 0.1%. Growth was highest in clothing and footwear, but electrical goods and sales of medicines were also up too. So these figures, I think, are being most reasonably greeted as a nice surprise, but probably best viewed as a symptom of volatility rather than any solution to it. The great uncertainty in the global economy that the ECB spoke about before Christmas, that's still very much alive and well. Political upheaval, protectionism, untested emerging markets. With so many unknowns out there, it's really hard to bet against the ECB's prediction of slower growth ahead for the Eurozone.
Well, let's turn now to the US-China trade war. Now, talks are starting in Beijing. What do you expect to come out of that?
Well, look, in this trade war, we've got a powerful example of politics unsettling markets. And there's a huge amount at stake, as both sides head into these 2 days of talks in Beijing. The US has already hit $250 billion worth of Chinese goods with tariffs over the last 6 months. President Trump has announced he is, quote, ready to go on another similar size package. China retaliated with just over $100 billion worth of duties on American products. But both sides need these talks to work. China's economy has been slowing. Last year, they had the world's worst performing stock market. The US, on their side, they're very concerned about risks to intellectual property, cybersecurity, national security. So there's really big pressure on both teams as they sit there in Beijing today.
Well, let's move over to Las Vegas now, where CES, which is one of the biggest consumer technology trade shows, is opening. There's often lots of exciting gadgets, aren't there? But what are the trends?
Well, it's really interesting. Actually, there are more delegates from China at this event this year than ever before. So, in a sense, it is almost like the front line of, or at least the front line of showing off the world's biggest country's most high-tech developments. We've already seen the bold claims and superlatives from shape-shifting TVs to supposedly self-aware cars. There's even an Alexa-operated toilet with voice control seats and dynamic lighting, apparently. But there are also some very clear trends emerging. Virtual assistants are increasingly now being pitched as a practical necessity for overcoming basic life challenges. Firms like IBM, Intel, AT&T, they're going to be very much focused on the power of 5G mobile networks. But one of the biggest challenges that both the organisers and the people attending have got this year is trying to make this high-tech world in Las Vegas connect up and become meaningful to the rest of us in the real world. And there are real concerns about smartphone addiction, global inequality, the environment. And the question has got to be, when is the high-tech world going to really connect up with the real world?